Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League, and the season is now officially over. We've had the playoff game, we've had all of the awards, and we are now officially looking forward to the 23-24 season. But on this show, we're still going to have a little bit of a look back. There is one game to talk about. There's a bit of news to go through as well. And then, of course, we've got all the build-up to the summer knockout tournament, which got a great response last season. I'm hoping we'll do the same again this time around. Let's start, though, with the news. And we're going to start with a name change. Gillingham Women have become Chatham Town Women. Statement on the Chatham Town website. Following several seasons in the wilderness as a standalone, independently run club with no home ground, training ground, external facilities or revenue streams, Gillingham Women are delighted to announce that approval has been received from the National FA Council, the FA Women's National League and the Kent FA to change the name with immediate effect to Chatham Town Women. Now the club's going to stay in the Southern Premier Division, as in Tier 3. Kevin Hake, the chairman, and the team of dedicated volunteers at Chatham Town answered an SOS in September, and the team and staff have since made Chatham Town their home and are delighted to have a bright and sustainable future. Dan Logue will remain as first team manager, and the playing squad is going to continue to grow with off-field enhancements. Now, great news as well is that the club will also be launching a brand new girls' academy and will enter teams into the JPL at under 12 to under 18s. So you can arrange a trial if you're between ages 11 and 17. The club's also excited to announce a reserve academy side for next season, which is a direct pathway into the first team. They will play in the FA Women's National Youth Under 21 League. All social media handles have now been changed. And the team are starting life as Chatham Town with a prestigious home friendly at Chatham Town, where Women's Super League side West Ham United provide the opposition on Wednesday the 9th of August. So that is the name change, Chatham Town. Gillingham have become Chatham Town now. So great, they've got an established home and looks like they're going to grow from strength to strength. Right. That is the news in terms of team changes. We also have now had the final side. This was only last night, promoted into the FAWNL for next season. Worthing, after a 2-1 victory over 10th placed AFC Acorns last night, leapfrogged Ebbsfleet United into the top spot in the London and South Eastern Regional Women's Football League. And that means that they will be in Division 1 South East next season. So they are alongside all the teams in there like Wimbledon and Chesham, Cambridge, replacing obviously Hounslow and Wyndham Town, who weren't able to complete the season. So that's Worthing up into the South Eastern League after winning the London and South East Regional League. And then on Saturday night after that playoff game, we'll get down to that in a moment, we also had the FA Women's National League End of Season Awards. The awards night after the final. So I'll run through those for you as well. So Tier 4 Programme of the Year has gone to Northampton Town. The Tier 3 Programme of the Year has gone to MK Dons. And then the Respect Clubs of the Year. Tier 4 winner of the Respect Club is Actonians. And Tier 3 Respect Club is Halifax, or were Brighouse Town. If you remember, they've renamed to Halifax. So that is the Tier 3 Respect Club. Then we go into the Top Goalkeeper Awards. Now, these are the ones I went through on the stats last week. We'll go through them again. So, Golden Gloves in all of the leagues. Emily Batty of Nottingham Forest in the Northern Premier Division. Sarah Quantrill of Ipswich Town in the Southern Premier Division. Grace Donnelly and Serena Clark of Newcastle and Barnsley with a tie in Division 1 North. Amy Preston of Stourbridge in Division 1 Midlands of Stourbridge in Division 1 Midlands. Hashtag United's Jamie Lee Bamford in Division 1 South East. And Laura O'Sullivan, Wales's number 1 and Cardiff City's number 1, takes the award in South West. Then we move through into the Player of the Year. Now, this is the one, again, I went through it last week on the stats. They're the ones where Player of the Year has been determined by who got the most Opposition Player of the Match awards throughout the season. So, Halifax's Monique Watson in the Northern Premier Division, Sophie Quirk of Portsmouth in the Southern Premier Division, Charlotte Stewart of Bradford City and Bianca Owens of Norton Stockton Ancients get it in Division 1 North. Zoe Creaney of Solihull Moors gets it in Division 1 Midlands. Katie McLean of Queen's Park Rangers gets it in Division 1 South East. And Ellie Stripple of Portishead Town gets it in Division 1 South West. Manager of the year now. These have gone to basically the managers of the teams that won the league. So Andy Cook of Nottingham Forest, Damien Lafrope of Watford, Becky Langley of Newcastle, Andy Fisher of Stourbridge, Jason Stevens of Hashtag United, and Jamie Phillip of Cardiff City. Manager of the year just goes to the teams that won the Divisional Manager of the Year, and then Becky Langley of Newcastle United has been named the Manager of the Year across all of the divisions. Then an outstanding contribution to the FA Women's National League has gone to Duncan Gibb of Derby County. And then we come to the end of the awards with the Club of the Year. Now, Tier 4 Club of the Year has gone to AFC Bournemouth, who won in Tier 4, and Plymouth Argyle have won Tier 3 Club of the Year. So that covers all of the awards from the FAWNL. Quite a good awards night from what I hear. Wasn't able to go this year because I was working the playoff final, had to get back to the office. Now, speaking of the playoff final, that's where we're going to go next. So let's have a look at that. The promotion playoff. This is between Nottingham Forest and Watford, a repeat of the League Cup final, which Forest won in extra time. Only one goal in this game. It came to Poppy Wilson just 16 minutes in.
Playing over onto the left-hand side. Every time they go forward, the fans on that far side are cheering them on. 10 yards from the byline now. Nice turn away from one is McLean. McLean back to the edge of the penalty area with the pass. Cross in towards the back post. Headed goalwards and in! And Poppy Wilson has put Watford in front. 16 minutes into the game. Cross in towards the back post. And Wilson gets up and heads it over the top of Batty, who was stretching as far as she could but was unable to get a hand to it. We played just over a quarter of an hour here and Watford have the lead.
That then proving to be the only goal of the game. Watford get back to the Championship at the first time of asking. It was not the greatest of games. It was a bit nervy. Neither side had a huge amount of chances, but over the course of the 90 minutes, I do think that the better side on the day did go through. Forest better in the first half, but I think we're left chasing the game a bit in the second half. So Watford back into the Championship at the first time of asking. So what that means with Worthing coming up and Forest staying in the Northern Premier Division. Now, we haven't had confirmation of this yet, but I believe that this is what the 23-24 FAWNL will look like. So, in the Northern Premier Division, we've got the 10 teams that were in last season plus Newcastle United, who promoted from Division 1 North, and Stourbridge promoted from the Midlands. We lost, of course, Boldmere St Michael's and Loughborough Lightning. Nobody coming down in the Northern Premier Division. In the Southern Premier Division, Cardiff City back after 1 year away. United promoted as well after just missing out last season to Billericay Town. Coventry United, the team down from the Championship, will take Watford's spot in the Southern Premier Division. So that's how I think Tier 3 is going to look. Then we come down into Tier 4, and it's a bit more interesting in Tier 4. And again, have not had confirmation of this, but with Boldmere St Michael's and Loughborough Lightning going down from the Northern Premier Division, they are both very much Midlands-based sides. So with that in mind, it would have left, with Notts County coming up and Sutton Coldfield Town coming up, it would have left Division 1 Midlands with 13 sides and Division 1 North with 11 sides. So with that in mind, I looked at who is the most northern Midlands Division side, and that is Doncaster Rovers Bells. So I believe, and again this has not been confirmed yet, that Doncaster Rovers will move laterally from the Midlands into the North to square those leagues up with 12 teams each. That's what I think is going to happen. In the North, FC United of Manchester, Chester Street Town, both back in that division. So it's very, well, to an extent, it's as you were from a couple of seasons ago with those two sides getting back in. Division 1 Midlands, as I said, Notts County, Sutton Coldfield Town's up. I think both relegated sides, with Boldmere being Birmingham base and Loughborough being around Leicester area. I think they're both going to go into the Division 1 Midlands. Then we go over to Division 1 South East and South West. These are relatively straightforward. AFC Sudbury and Worthing promoted into Division 1 South East. Crawley Wasps relegated from the Southern Premier Division into South East. So they go alongside Wimbledon Actonians, who did very well last season, Norwich City as well. So that's Division 1 South East. And then Division 1 South West, Abingdon United, the first team that were promoted back into Tier 4. They're in Division 1 South West. Torquay United are there as well. Bridgewater United, who are over on that side in that part of the world, will go down into Tier 4. Obviously, Cardiff out of that division. It's Exeter City, the front runners. But of course, so much can happen in the off season with teams changing players and the like. Speaking of changing players, trials are now opening for many of the teams in the FAW, and I've seen quite a few tweets about this now. So if you are interested in playing football for one of these sides, then you are able to do so. You're able to try out at least. So go find the side near you, look for their trials dates, and head on down, really. And you never know, you might be being mentioned week in, week out on this show if you're a prolific goal scorer. But that is the situation, or what I believe the situation is going to be for the 23-24 FA Women's National League. So, with all of that in mind and done, there is one more thing we need to talk about on this week's show, and it's been eagerly anticipated. Many people, particularly last year's winners, have been asking me when this is going to be, and it is the Summer Knockout Tournament. I did this last year. You may remember, if you've been a long time watcher or listener of the show, last year I introduced the Summer Knockout Tournament as trying to build on, really, A, to give us something to keep going with throughout the summer, but B, to try and show the league that you can film draws. That was the main reason. So I started the Summer Knockout Tournament, and it did better than I thought it was going to do. It had over 9,000 votes by the end of it. Very hotly contested, particularly when we got into the latter stages. Chesham United, their ball number 18 this year, they were the first winners of the Summer Knockout Tournament. They were behind Wolves all the way through the final week until about a day to go, 9 hours to go, where Chesham just had this surge, really. and overtook Wolves, ended up winning by about 1,000 votes or more from memory. And Wolves just couldn't catch up from that in the dying moments. Cheshire United, the inaugural winners of the summer knockout tournament. So some of the ball numbers in there, newly promoted sides: AFC Sudbury, ball number 3, Chester Street Town, number 19, FC United of Manchester, 27. Where else have we got here? We've got to try and find everybody in all of this. Notts County are 51. Sutton Coldfield Town 66, Torquay United 68, Worthing 71. So plenty of opportunities there for the newly promoted sides to go deep into this competition. I think Worthing are going to do quite well based on how well they responded to my tweet earlier on this week. So the way that the Summer Knockout Tournament works, if it is new, it is a completely national competition, and teams will be drawn out into a fixture, and the poll then goes up on my Twitter, and you can vote for your favourite side out of those two. Now, this could be because of they are your favourite team. It could be because they're playing the team you don't like, or it could be because you like the colour of their kit, or you like their badge the most. It could be any reason why you prefer one team over the other. And it's a completely national competition. There's no tier 3 comes in later, any of that. We could end up with the two sides right at the top of the Northern Premier Division, Forest and Wolves. They could draw each other in the preliminary round, and then one of them gets knocked out straight away. Chesham could face Wolves in the preliminary round, and one of them gets knocked out. So, no idea how this draw is going to go, but the preliminary round is next Thursday. So it's going to be 8 ties are going to be drawn out, and that takes it from 72 down to 64 teams, and then we can do from down to 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. So next Thursday, the preliminary round draw is going to take place. These are the ball numbers you're looking out for. Of course, your team may not be drawn, but that is what you are looking for next Thursday. And that'll do it for this week's Women's Football Chat. Thank you very much for joining me. Of course, in the off-season, not a huge amount to go through, but if there is any news over the next week, we'll cover it on next week's show, as well as that preliminary round draw. Thank you very much for watching and or listening to this week's Women's Football Chat. Keep supporting your local team as always, and if you fancy a trial, go and find out when your local team is holding them. Thank you very much for watching and or listening to this week's Women's Football Chat, and goodbye.